Hello and welcome to review number 4. This time I'm covering Wheeljack and his evil doppelganger, Exhaust. The original Wheeljack was released in 1984 in the first year of the G1 toy line and was subsequently a prominent character in the accompanying cartoon, helping his fellow Autobots with inventions or blowing himself up trying. Conversely, Exhaust is a character that doesn't see the light of day too often. He wasn't brought into G1 and that's likely because of his heavy smoking ties. His appearances are limited to comics and the Masterpiece line, although he does appear in the Netflix show. They didn't give him his own head, huh? Anyway. These two come with only one accessory, a shoulder launcher, and it can be placed on either shoulder, or in his hand if you're some sort of madman who doesn't put a shoulder launcher on the shoulder. Out of the box, these two are nicely painted, however, when we have them standing next to each other we can really see how much of an off-white Wheeljack is. Why is the one associated with smoking the pristine white one?
Yeah, that seems about right.
Height-wise, they're both 13 cm tall, putting them at 1.3 cliff jumpers, or standard deluxe height. The wings, well, let's be honest, they're too small, but I do like the way they turn into the spoiler for car mode. Now moving on to the only sculpting difference between these two, the heads. Wheeljack's head is moulded in black, painted grey for the face, silver for the ears and faceplate, and nice light blue for the eyes. Now I'd like to mention that the paint chipping on Wheeljack's head was like that out of the package, so if you're looking to buy in person, watch out for that. Exhaust's head is moulded in black with silver for the visor and face. Overall, the paint on these guys is really nice, with some fake sponsorships which really make the figures feel more real. But I'll talk about that in vehicle mode. Armouring these guys up is no problem as they both have 11 weapon ports to use. Before moving on to articulation, I would like to point out that the small gun that comes with Double Dealer works excellently with either of these two. Shoulders can move out with limited rotation due to kibble, limited arm swivel, 360-degree wrists and a 90-degree elbow. Head can look up, down and all around unless the shoulder launcher is blocking it. Waist rotation. Legs can move forward, back and to the sides with thigh rotation, 90-degree knees and a small amount of ankle pivot. Posing these two is quite fun and you can get some expressive poses. I would like to mention that this joint is way too tight and I recommend filing it down. In vehicle mode, these two scream Lancia Stratos, but not quite because of copyright. The paint on these is good overall, but the colour matching is a bit off. As this bit here is black plastic painted white, surrounded by white plastic, so it doesn't quite work. And Exhaust has two black squares caused by gang moulding. There's also a hole at the rear of the car, but it's not too bad, so I can live with it. And onto the detail. These two have quite a few sponsorships painted on them, so I'm going to pause here and let you have a look for yourself. Something of note is that Exhaust has a mercenary insignia instead of a Decepticon one, though he does have Decepticon written in Japanese on his side, so I think we know who he prefers to work for. And here are some vehicles for size comparison. Wheel spin. Overall, these two are great figures. Wheeljack, while having his issues, I would say he is a must-have for any G1 collection. 4 out of 5 Energon cubes. Exhaust, on the other hand, I would only recommend if you love the Wheeljack mould, the character of Exhaust, or are starting a mercenary shelf. 3 out of 5 Energon cubes. Here we have Sliver Fang. He's a Battlemaster, and unlike the other Battlemasters, he is aligned with the Quintessons, the evil creators / enslavers of the Cybertronian race, depending on which continuity we're talking about. One blast effect that can be used with any 3mm peg. Sliver Fang is sculpted from a very light purple plastic that almost looks grey. as well as a very deep translucent purple. All the other colours on this figure are painted. Yes, that head sculpt is painted purple plastic, as we can see from this paint chip. He's a small 5 cm, making him just about half a cliff jumper. He can look up, down, pivot, way swivel, another pivot and tail articulation. And this is him in his shield mode, able to be used with any figure that has a 5mm port. Alternately, you can flip down this peg, and this is him in road mode. It can be connected to any of the Micromaster bases or anything else that has the airlock system, and you can have your Micromaster sitting on top of him. No. Sliver Fang is a good little bot that does what it needs to do and does it well, and with a pretty nice blast effect to go along with it. 5 out of 5 Energon cubes.